Hello, my babies. This is once again bad angles, bad hair, bad skin, but a cool t-shirt from Ghost of the Robot, which Google them, Ghost of the Robot. They're on Twitter. They are on YouTube. They are a band. They are a small band, but they have a big fan following that's very devoted. And some of their stuff is really good. They have a song called Good Night, Sweet Girl, which gets me in the heart every time. But I'm not here to talk about Ghost of the Robot, but I love them. They're my boys. I love my boys. With the bad hair, bad lighting, bad angles, I'm here to do episode 2 of Exhausted Thoughts. I am very tired. I am flaring with my rosacea and my fibromyalgia nerve pain, which means every tiny nerve in my body is at a rave, burning. They're at Burning Man. They are all out in the desert. They're on fire. They're writhing around and just having a party. And they hurt. Fibromyalgia. I wanted to have an ass so I could kick it so hard. Anyway, I will be moving the angles around because I am feeling insecure about my chins and my empty chin skin, and so we're doing this with the iPad because, well, anyway, today's exhausted thoughts with my exhausted body and my exhausted brain and my exhausted hair is YouTubers. I was not big into watching YouTube literally until like the beginning of the year. I watched Graveyard Girl, and I'd watched Jenna Marbles a little bit, and whenever I needed to look something up, I'd look up videos for it, mainly music in all honesty, or information about things. But I'm 47, so YouTube and YouTubers is kind of not really something that people my age are really into. They all have lives and spouses and children and careers, and I don't. I am disabled and at home and have no car and poor, with no children, no husband, because I am divorced. But who cares? I'm very independent, though. I get to do whatever I want. I can buy whatever toilet paper I want, so screw you, ex-husband. Anyway. Sorry. I had an epiphany in the Walmart toilet paper aisle shortly after I split up with my ex-husband of when I was buying the kind he liked, which I didn't like for reasons I'm not even going to get into. It was just gross. And I had it and I was like, I don't have to buy this anymore. I can buy whatever toilet paper I want. Anyway, so, and that kind of was the beginning of me realizing I could do whatever I want. I can buy whatever food I want. He's not going to eat it. I can, do whatever I want. And I mean, I had a lot of freedom when I was married to do whatever I want anyway. But, I mean, there were just some things that I changed that I didn't like for him. And I like not having to do that anymore. Anyway, the subject is YouTubers. Like I said, Bunny, Jenna a little bit, just various things here and there, but there were no YouTubers that I watched and that I was I like them except for Bunny. I did watch Bunny a lot, and Bunny, a video by Bunny was posted on my feed in Facebook, and I don't know if it's one of those viral videos or what, but I thought she was funny. I'm like, I like this girl. She's funny. She's like a younger version of me in some ways. I like that. And that's what we do. We look for things we relate to and identify with, and people that we watch online, people we're friends with, people that we like that are famous. It's just what we do. It's human nature. So, at the end of last year, I was deep in a depression. I mean, I was rolling deep in that depression. I get seasonal affective disorder every year anyway, at the end of the year, but last year, deep. So by January, I was deep. for reasons I'm not even going to get into. That's for another Exhausted Thoughts episode. I was watching a bunny video, and I was just kind of like, I'm bored, I'm depressed, I need something, just anything, a distraction. And I looked at the videos that were recommended on the side, and one of them was a Shane Dawson video. Don't ask me what video, I don't know. I just clicked on it, and then I ended up getting in a click hole for a few hours, just laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing. And that led to me, first of all, I love Shane. Shane is always going to be the guy that got me out of that deep depression by making me laugh. Love him, relate to him in a lot of ways. A lot of our life path and events have been similar. A lot of our points of view things are similar. So he's kind of like, what I would consider, if I ever had a little brother, well, I do have a little brother, actually, but I don't know him. Anyway, a little brother or a child, if I'd had a child at 18, oh, no. Anyway, I relate to him a lot, so even though there's an age gap. But Shane led me to clicking on other people's videos, and I just have found, like, all these people that I love to watch now. So, today's Exhausted Thoughts are YouTubers I like, YouTubers I don't like, YouTubers I don't care about, and YouTubers that fall somewhere in the middle. Of course, Shane Dawson, number one. Bunny, number one also. They are both number one in my book, and honestly. And then I enjoy watching Jenna, like I said before. I enjoy watching Emmy Eats Japan. She just tries foods and talks about it, but it's led me to try new things, and that's why I like it. It's because I'm like, oh, she's telling me about it, she's describing it to me, and also she's tried things that maybe I don't want to try, There's Timmy Tomato, who I love. He does a lot of do-it-yourself food things, but he is so funny. And I love it because when you're in the boring parts of him making a recipe, he kind of speeds it up and he plays over it these songs he's made up, which are very adult, FYI, very R-rated songs. So if you go watch his videos, I warned you, they're very R-rated. For example, my favorite song that he does that's played over his stuff was, excuse me, there's a paper towel over here. It was talking about the never-ending twerk. Oh, he's so funny. It makes me laugh. I love the songs. And he's just so cute and so funny. And he's adorable. And so, yeah, those people I always watch. I always love. Then there are people that I'll watch that there are things about them that I agree with or I relate to, and so there's solace in those things that I relate to, but most of the time I'm watching their videos and I'm talking back to them like, no, why, I don't understand. Do you understand how unrealistic you are? Do you understand how stubborn you're being? Do you know what I'm saying? And the two particular people, and some people call it hate watching, but I don't hate them. I just am like, I don't get some things, and in some cases, I feel like they're just wrong. Okay, or that they're miseducated, or they're judging, maybe. And I don't like that part. But there are things about these two people that I'm going to mention that I relate to, and that sometimes I agree with. First one is Charles Gross. He is a rich young man in New York who has never lived poor. And, but he has an anxiety disorder, like, that stops him from doing, like, simple things sometimes. And that's where I relate to him a lot. And, I feel for him in that, because I know what that's like to be like, okay, I'm going to go do this today like a normal human being, and then anxiety just take you over. You can't do anything about it. You can't do what you were planning to do, and you let people down, and and some people don't understand about anxiety and things like that. But It's mostly about money. Okay, I understand that he's rich and that he can do it, but I don't understand paying what he pays for the things he pays it for. Just because he thinks it's a good quality, but it's also a name. And the thing is you can get a good quality of these things he buys that aren't that name and that expensive. And he's got tunnel vision, you know. Anyway, and the second one is Onision. His name is Greg. And feel bad for him and for his child and for his wife, because he was making a lot of money and literally, like, 9/10 of his income has dropped because of things that are going on with YouTube, and I think he's also ticking a lot of people off, to be honest, because I've been watching him kind of go down this path of, like, he's lost control of his trajectory. You know what I'm saying? He had it in his head how things were going to be, and he was comfortable in the way things were, and then all of a sudden, like an asteroid came and knocked him off his trajectory. And I feel bad for his family, because him losing income means that they lose income. You know what I mean? But the thing about Greg is that I don't agree with a lot of things that he says. And I think that sometimes a lot of the things he says are in arrogance and judgment, and even based on his life experiences, that really his life experience was a different experience, and it's not reality for the rest of the world. I know he judges people a lot who he thinks have eating disorders. He judges people who are overweight, and a lot of people have come for him, and I have not agreed with that at all, because I felt like, okay, let's talk about let's put a pin in Greg for a minute. Onision. The drama channels. Children. Why? Because those channels are making drama out of things that are nothing. They're just blowing everything up. And the thing is when you are making videos accusing people of things that aren't true, or taking something that's like a little tiny seed and turning it into a full-grown 100-year-old tree when it's not, you're affecting their livelihood. You're affecting their child's life and their wife's life. And I don't get it. Okay, so, things that YouTube channels I hate are anything that's drama related. And I don't understand it. Why? Okay, back to Onision. I don't agree with him most of the time, but sometimes he actually says some things I do agree with. And the thing is he's very black and white, very rigid, and he just is one of those personality types that can't see beyond what he thinks is fact or what he believes is fact to see anything else. So, but I watch him because sometimes I agree with him, sometimes he makes me laugh, a lot of times he makes me mad because he goes for other YouTubers and then has a problem when people come for him. And he goes for YouTubers that he perceives to have a problem. This is my problem with him, though, is he perceives like they have an eating disorder or they have a weight problem or whatever, and he'll come for them and say, it's because I care. It's because I care. But the thing is if someone does have an eating disorder, if someone is struggling with their weight, especially when he comes for somebody who has lost 200 pounds and kept it off for a decade, and they're getting a little thicker, but they recently had an injury to their leg that limited their physical ability, but they work out and they try, and so they're a little thicker, but like I said, they'd been off their feet for a while because of an injury to their leg, and they got a little thicker in that time. So what? And they do a lot of food videos, so he takes that, which is, okay, look, it's just like TV. What goes on YouTube isn't 100% reality. They're spitting food out, they're taking one bite of things, they're just doing stuff with food for the fun of it. You know what I mean? It's their job, just like making a cheeseburger at McDonald's is your job. Or doing paperwork at the office is your job. That's their job. to do whatever it is that their shtick is, and a lot of times it involves food. Anyway, and maybe they take a bite of this horribly horrific calorie cluster. But that doesn't mean that they're eating the whole thing. You know what I mean? Anyway, so Greg likes to see someone who's like is laying on a bed covered in Taco Bell, kind of, and say, well, don't post pictures like that, and then get upset if people say things about your weight or something like that. And I was just like, are you kidding me? Anyway, but yeah, that's where I have issues with him. And I watch some of the beauty gurus. I like most of the beauty people I watch are guys, and this is so funny because I've learned lots of new techniques from men. And but I do watch Nikki tutorials. She does a phenomenal. It's like she's airbrushed and face tuned, and it's amazing. I do Jeffree Star. I do Manny MUA. I watch Laura Lee a little. I watch some other people a little bit, but primarily it's Manny and Jeffree and some Nikki. I don't watch everything Nikki does, but I do Manny and Jeffree every time. And yeah, there are things that have gone on with Jeffree that in the past, and I understand that that's in the past, and I understand behaving badly because you're treated badly. And that's pretty much what's going on with him. And he is like me. He will sound off and not think about the consequences of it, and say things that he should not say. And I've said things I should not say in that moment of people treating me like garbage. You know what I mean? So, and it's also, hey, forgive people. And it's none of my business. Anyway. But, I like watching the makeup people. And then there's a guy named Nady. His channel is Pop Lux. He's just hysterical. And he does makeup. But he also, my favorite thing he does is he orders the fake versions of expensive makeups and reviews them. But, you never know what's in that. But it's interesting because I have a few fake makeup items because they're $1 something. And Heather can't afford the $30 and $40 that it is. And well, anyway, they're not great for you, but I've done it. I've got a couple things. Anyway, we want to talk about people like PewDiePie. Most of the really big people I don't watch. I have no interest. The Paul brothers, who are they? I don't know. I just keep hearing about them, and I'm just like, where did they come from? Why do we care? There's some other people I watch it. I can't conjure up their names right now. But I love watching YouTube. It's something that I look forward to doing every day. Oh, I watch, as far as makeup goes, I watch Toddy, who is Glam Life Guru, and she is just, she just cracks me up. She's just kind of perky and just we got a little bit of a snap to her. But, I watch some other people that I kind of feel ambivalent about, but, their videos are interesting. They occupy my time because I'm on my butt a lot because of my fibromyalgia and arthritis and all that stuff. So it's good to have things that occupy my mind. I have my television, I have movies, I have, that I watch, like Netflix. I have a video game system that I can play. I have my iPad. I have a laptop that's it's outdated now and doesn't work well. I have my craft stuff, I have all that stuff, I have music, I have all that stuff, and it helps as a whole, because alone with my mind, it is dark, so it's good to have things that occupy my time, and it's good to see people online that you can relate to. And yeah, they have a little bit of fame, but they're not like super famous. They're famous within the realm of YouTube and primarily with young people, and they're definitely more realistic. They're definitely more like reality as far as people go, as famous people go. And I love that about them. And there's just things that are relatable, and then there may be an age gap, but I don't care. I think that you can find things to relate to in people at any age, elderly, young, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We are all human. We all experience things in this human life that are relatable. We all find kindred spirits in this world, and that to me is the biggest blessing that we can have, is to find people that feel like kindred spirits. Even if we never know them, we never talk to them, you know, just to know they're out there is a blessing and makes you feel less alone in the world. And that, some people don't consider what people do on YouTube as an art, but there is a lot of creativity that goes into most people's channels. Now, some of it's just them talking and vlogging and stuff a lot, but they always have their moments of creativity, and that is a beautiful thing. The fact that they can. Something that's very common with YouTubers is anxiety disorders and like mental stuff, and those things kind of make it difficult for you to hold a regular 9-to-5 job. And I love the fact that they're able to do this and make a living. You know what I mean? Because if I had YouTube when I was younger, if it had been around, with me having all my anxiety and issues working because of it, I could have probably made a living. Now, fibromyalgia kind of gives you fog in your head, and it's hard to get the creative thoughts out into physical form. There's like a disconnect. They're there, but executing them is difficult. But I do, you know, the stuff I do on this channel is just for my own amusement. I don't think anybody's watching. But if you are, hi! Thank you for watching. I'm definitely not trying to make money with my YouTube channel. I started it like 7-8 years ago, primarily to talk about things that I wanted to make people aware of, especially people in my life. It was just easier to make videos to show them than it was to keep explaining things over and over and over and over again. But no, I think YouTube is a wonderful thing for people to be able to do creativity and to share themselves. We're kind of disconnected from each other now because of things like the internet, but being able to share yourself with people out in the world and find your kindreds out there is a wonderful thing in this day and age, in my opinion. I think that's a wonderful thing. And more power to them. If they have found their art with YouTube, just do it with all you have until you can't do it anymore. Even if YouTube starts making it where you're not making any money. A lot of changes in YouTube in like the last 6 months or so that have really cut people's income, and I feel bad for them. You know, first of all, their income is pretty good in most cases, but the fact that they've got this life based on having had this income for an extended period of time, and then it's just taken from, what was that face? Anyway, but yeah, that is really unfair, in my opinion. But I'm thankful to have it. I'm thankful to find people out in the world that I feel kindred with. I think, in my opinion, is that we have a lot of soulmates in the world, and they are just different degrees of soulmates. And it's not just about romantic partners. It's about friends. It's about just people that are acquaintances. It's about people you just find out in the world that are like a soulmate of sorts, that do something to build you up and make you more whole. I think we make each other whole. I don't think you have to have someone else to be whole. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I think that finding people that we relate to in the world and that we feel a kindred spirit with make us more us. Makes us more ourselves, in all honesty. Because maybe we feel alone, and then we see someone that we feel kindred with, and they're feeling or doing or experience the same things, and we're just like, I'm not alone. And it's healing. It's very healing, and it's very comforting, and there's a lot of solace in that, and a lot of comfort, and it's a good thing. So those are my exhausted thoughts for today. Bad lighting, bad hair, bad skin. But I hope maybe you got something to take away from it, especially the stuff where I was talking about the soulmates and the kindreds, because that's something that my mother taught me about, was kindred spirits. And whenever I find somebody that I feel some kind of kindred with, it is so beautiful because I feel like I'm kind of weird and a freak and just so different from everybody else that I just can't relate and don't connect. So if I feel a connect, even with somebody I'm never going to know, it's healing and it's comforting. So I will talk to y'all next time, whenever that would be, with whatever random thing I decide I'm going to do. You have a good day. Peace, my babies.